Hi guys, I'm Dan with Six Monkeys. I'm going to show you our Gen 2 roof rack and a few of our accessories. I'll go through a quick install. Quite a bit has changed since the Gen 1. You're going to be really happy with this one. So first, this is our side ladder. It's dimpled, cut out, a couple nut certs in the bottom, bolts to your roof rack up top, includes your rotopax mount. It's a cool little feature for getting up there. You just climb on up. All right, these are our mattrax mounts. Really simple product, just a couple flat plates, a couple pinch plates, all the hardware is included. They just bolt up, everything lines up. You buy your mattrax pins, they go in the brackets. Easy enough, simple solution to carry your mattrax and get them out of the way. This is our Gen 2 roof rack. A lot of updates since the Gen 1 roof rack. We listened to the customers and really made some tough decisions on upgrading this thing. It's night and day compared to the first generation. We now option these with a wind fairing front that's contoured. It goes right down to the roof. At the roof line, you'll notice there's a piece of bulbed edge trim that seals off the front, make sure there's no vibration, no wind going up. The wind really deflects over the top. If you get the option with the light bars are all recessed, they're included. We also make plexiglass lenses that go over the top. It also helps reduce wind noise and it protects your lights back there. These Gen 2 fronts, whether it's a floating front or an arched front like this, they all have tie-down points in the front now. They also have holes for wire management, so you can run a zip tie through, get all your wires buttoned up nicely. The sides have a pretty close profile to the Gen 1s. We've updated a few things. We've gone from pod lights to these 7-inch light bars. They're also recessed. The cool thing about these is you can tip them. So you can have them face straight out, you can have them face downward. Pretty much any orientation you want to put them, you can put them. We include some bulbed edge trim. You'll notice that they're various lengths. When you go to assemble this, you'll put this bulbed edge trim where there's only one material thickness. You'll notice that there is the outer piece, and then there's also a mount rail. We usually bolt it together when we ship it. So only where there's a single thickness of material is where you'll put this bulbed edge trim. It sits down inside of your range rack, and it fits nice, takes any vibration out. It kind of cushions it, and this way we have no metal to metal or metal to rubber contact on the vehicle. Protects the vehicle. These new mount rails are one piece. They're one big long piece. They're bolted to the inside of the outer. All the holes will line up for you. And these act as kind of like a bridge. They distribute the weight to the outsides, which is what you want for a higher capacity. And when you tighten these down, there will be a 1/4 inch gap between the mount plate and the factory buttons. That gap is essential so that way you get a down draw. You're not just bolting to it, you're getting a down draw. That 1/4 inch gap is ideal. And when you tighten them down, you're only going to take them to about 7 foot-pounds. So they're not going to be super, super tight. But it gives you that proper down draw. We've upgraded the slats to a 3-inch by 1-inch aluminum extrusion. We do coat these. That way they match everything else. But the cool thing about this is if you throw something up here, like a chunk of metal, or you throw some 2x4s up here, or you throw something that's going to scratch the surface, you're not going to worry about it getting rusty. Being it's aluminum, it'll never rust out. You just scratch it up, who cares? It's just not going to hurt anything. These slats, we originally rated them for 100 pounds apiece. We've recently done some testing and found out that they fail at 375 pounds loaded on center per slat. So I'm about 100 pounds and we got almost no deflection. Safely, I would say, load them up to 250 pounds or so. And that way when you're bombing through a trail and you get that extra weight, it's not gonna hurt the slat. Overall, this thing's really, really quiet going down the road, really minimal wind noise. The entire top is truly flat. You don't have a lip in the front, no lip in the back, nothing on the sides. When you go to tie stuff down to this, you can use the outer tie points, front tie points, get some ratchet straps, tie stuff down. We don't use a T-slot kind of thing. It's just hard to find T-slots. And we don't want it to be biased when it comes to attachments. So anything that will mount to a factory crossbar will mount to these. They're the same dimensions as a factory crossbar. So if you have kayak holders, they'll clamp around these. If you want a rooftop tent, they'll clamp around these. And if you have oversized payload that needs to go beyond the front or beyond the sides, this is ideal, being all flat. It's not like a basket that you're limited to a certain size. You can get something and put something up here that's larger than the roof rack itself. This basically utilizes the entire roof structure. It's 70 inches long from the front of this fairing to the back of the slat, and we're about 50 inches wide. Overall, this is a huge improvement over the Gen 1. Gen 2 seems to be very popular. Haven't had any negative feedback on it. The install procedure itself is really similar to the Gen 1. You basically want to assemble the entire thing on the ground, pick it up and set it in place. With this design having single mount rails, you don't have to get picky with anything. You don't have to finesse anything. It sets down, it bolts in place. You don't have to deal with individual mounts or trying to finagle a little bolt into a little tiny area. Really, it's a lot easier to install than the Gen 1s.
Where can you find
them? You can find these roof racks at www.sixmonkeys.net. And if you have any comments or questions, just comment below and we'll get back to you. Thank you for checking it out.